Hello, everybody. How are you tonight? It's very late. Well, early. It's 1:41 a.m. On Sunday, October 23rd. Oh, look at that. 1, 2, 3. Because I was just thinking about it, a few minutes ago. I'm going to show you. Okay, before I begin, I've got some new subscribers. And I always get nervous whenever I get new subscribers because they don't know me and they don't know the story. And as soon as I start talking about something that triggers them, they hang up on me. And it always breaks my heart. So I just wanted to say that, if you get triggered by anything I say, why don't you talk it out with me instead? Because that's fear. Triggers are fears. And I don't want anybody afraid. It's not my game to make people afraid. It's to share my story. And I said early on, my mother named me Cheryl to Cheryl to share all. My story is a deliberate story. My journey is on purpose. I'm in contract with 4 other spirits that are gone now, including my grandmother, my mother, my father, and my son. And I'm here to repair, basically, the reputation of my father and son. But little did I know, I'm supposed to do it on a world scale. Because family, my family, is humanity. And in 2016, I guess my deceased son, couldn't get through to me. So he brought the beings of light, and I was downloaded with information that it was too much to cope with, and I went into PTSD, and I forgot everything except the words "be prepared" and my son's heart orgasm with me. He recorded with me, which means we were detached. Because of our life experience, we were detached. We were decorded. He didn't recognize me. I didn't recognize him. And that happens when we carry secrets and we're not open and honest people. We become actors. I am not an actor. I don't even want to show my face because I don't need you to be thinking about anything other than what I'm saying. But I've been a little sad these last few days because my cat died and I'm lonely. My cat was a strange refugee cat, another strange phenomena in my world that I won't get into now, but he died a couple weeks ago, or I guess not even that. It just feels like it because he was sick for a while. And then last night I started to doubt myself because I'm on Earth and I am human and I have feelings and emotions that people here don't seem to have. And it doesn't seem to matter what they say, they can say it. And people just beat me up all the time because of what I'm telling them. And it is hard. It is a very hard job I have. But I promise, my guides take good care of me. I am in no discomfort, no pain, and no worries. Except yesterday when I started to doubt myself. So I told you I'm sharing all, I'm share all. When I go through something emotionally, I want to share it with you so that if you go through things, that maybe you'll recognize something someday. And it may not register everything now, but it might one day. So just, consider it entertainment for a while. But never watch somebody through a black screen, a black mirror here. Never watch somebody and with emotion, not on a screen. Don't pour love out to me. Don't pour fear out to me, you know. Just watch and observe and listen to the words and see if they're registering with you at all. Because this is personal. It's personal for everybody. Because at the end of the day, we are born alone and we die alone. And life isn't the truth here. We've been lied to. We've been lied to about everything. There's nothing true here. We're in total delusion. And it takes a while to accept, first face it. It took me, like, this is 2022, and I went homeless in 2018. The Beings of Light came in 2016, so that's like 6 years. And in 23, it'll be 7. For me to work through everything. And even still, I get shocked, and I'm going to show you a shock right now that I just found yesterday that made me feel a whole lot better. It's because on the 5th dimension, I work a lot with numbers in my communication with the other side. We are such an intelligent species, but it works with numbers and telepathy, emotional telepathy. You can sense if you knew your loved one really well, you can sense them around you. You know, you may be a bit clairvoyant if you didn't give up all of your emotions. I've told people in my videos before, emotions is the first sense. It's the one we're born with. It's the one we'll die with. And that emotion is put to sleep here. And that's a bad thing for your soul. Because when you die, you're going to wake up to your movie. You're recording everything you're watching and living through. You are living your life for a reason. And you have a recording in your pupils going on. And right now, you can't feel it. You can't feel your emotions. Trust me, you can't feel your emotions. Your emotion is love. Fear is not love. It's the opposite. So people are not in emotion, which is love. And that's a heartbreaker at death. That's a heartbreaker. I've told the story that I wrote the book. My mother tortured me, and she was trained to torture me. We are trained to torture our children, you know, or turn them into narcissists. We're either doing one or the other. We're just overdoing it and doing everything for them so they don't have to do a damn thing, or we're neglecting them and not paying attention to their feelings at all. Like me, I had no idea what my son went through his whole life. I had no idea. I didn't recognize him. I didn't recognize his feelings. That's what's wrong. You will not recognize your people's feelings. So my mother died in 2009 after cutting me out of the will and the family. So I was really, really, like, very much alone because my son had already died. I was divorced, and my mom did that to me at the end. And it was because I tended to my dad, and my mom was such a witch that she just couldn't stand that I looked after my dad, and she did that to me. This is what parents are doing to their children out of spite. They're doing all sorts of fucking wacko things out of spite of their kids, or kids are doing things out of spite of their parents. But most of all, children are detaching from their parents now. And that's what happened to me, and that's why I'm here. I'm sharing all. And it was bound to happen because it was my journey. I'm in contract. But that's a long 5th dimension story that nobody understands. But let me help you understand a little bit about numbers. When I felt my mother's pain, I felt my mother in hell in 2020. I felt her in hell in 2010, but I didn't want to pay attention to it in 2010. I hated her for what she did to me. Well, I didn't hate her. I don't hate anybody. I was so hurt, and I just didn't want to deal with feeling her. And I really didn't understand what it all meant anyway until 2016 when Trevor and the Beings of Light came. I didn't understand these feelings I had. So finally in 2020, I heard her. And I thought to I was getting better, because this has been a very tough journey on me. Becoming aware of every shithole here, every shitty thing going on, every fucking rotten thing going on in the world. I know, and it hurts. They call me negative. Duh. They said, you got to be a positive thinker. That's what you are. You're positive thinkers, and you can't see. You can't see because you're thinkers. And that's what the positive thinking movement did, and the New Age movement. Let's not think about it, and then it won't happen. It is happened. It's over. It's over. People got to get that. So yesterday I was crying, or sorry, I'll go back to my mother when I accepted her back. I felt her crying in 2020, and I heard my dad. I felt my dad. And my mother and father were divorced for 44 years. No, I'm not a Freemason. It really was 44 years. And they were divorced for 44 years. And yet they both got diagnosed with lung cancer the same month, in May of 2007. And they both, my dad died in 6 months. I was the only one there to help. Kids couldn't stand him anymore. My mom wouldn't tolerate any of her kids going there. I was the only one that dared. And that's because I love my dad. I always did. He was full of joy and candy and Cracker Jacks and White Spot outings and honking outside, begging to see his kids. That's what I remember of my dad. So we are twisted here, guys. You've got everybody all wrong, like I had everybody all wrong. We've got everybody all wrong. So I heard her crying in 2020, heard my dad feel her, like he wanted me to feel her again. And I was still totally dead to our 5-star family. I didn't, no, that wasn't there yet in 2020. So, all you do, if you have somebody on the other side and they may be crying, and they are crying, because it's not like you see on TV, unless you had a good, unless the person that crossed had a very good, loving relationship with everybody that was all open and honest. But if she didn't see the suffering, she sees the suffering now. Do you see me? You hear me? With lobotomized senses, when you're taking those antidepressant drugs or any inhibitor for your drinking doesn't matter, cannabis doesn't matter, but when you take your antidepressant type medication, you are shutting out your right brain completely. You are gone. You're living a life, and it seems fine, and nothing's really bothering you too much. It's just fine. What are you talking about? You're in serious trouble at death if that's your world. And that's everybody I know. Everybody I know is just living for the day in the moment and trying to get by. They don't want to look. They can't look because it hurts too much. And I know that. And I didn't want to look at my mom because it hurt too much. But I felt I should. So I listened to myself. So if you ever have a feeling that you should do something, maybe you should. Maybe you should pay attention to yourself a little bit more often. Maybe you should stop listening to all that outside God advice and maybe listen to yourself. Thank me, God, I did. Because as the moment I said, yeah, Mom needs to come up. As soon as I said that, the wall was gone, if you will. The wall was gone, and I got a code from her. She and I are twin flames. We're the freaking same spirit. We're the same spirit. We are the same spirit, my mother and I. And I can see it all now, but I sure as shit didn't then. And my dad and my son are the same spirit as well. My father and my son. I'll show you a picture if you want. Okay, but not that you could tell in a picture, but in their entire lives, it was exactly the same. Trevor and my dad, my father and my son, and and my mother and I's Holy Spirit of hell. Anyway, I was given a number, and her number was 123. Every time I looked at the clock or some number on a license plate, I could just see all of a sudden it was 123 all over the place. It was 123 when I turned that on. So I yesterday was crying, and I thought, what if I'm full of shit? Like, what if none of this is real? What if I'm as crazy as they call me? And it's just been a big psyop. That's what I said. What if what if I'm fucked up? Big time. It was just for a flash. It really was. I had the thought. It came to me, right? And I thought, no, I'm not going to think there. I'm not going there. And when I don't want to think about something, I'm going to turn my direction somewhere else right away. So I decided to watch a BitChute video. And the first comment I saw, this is what I saw. And for 13 at the top is what I saw first. And that is my mom's code too. Her birthday was December 13th, and she told me it was a code of some kind. I still don't know the answer to that code yet. But then look at where it says Sept-Tel. That's my birthday, September, Tel. And then no, 11223313, not a psyop. So I felt much better after that. You see, I get it's not really prayer, it's expressing myself out loud, because nobody can read my mind, okay? So when I express myself out loud, they can hear me. And I want you guys to know that too. If you have emotion with you, like I was very emotional too yesterday. So if you have emotion with you, and I'm not talking about fear, I'm talking about sorrow or love, because sorrow is the seed of love. So if you can get to sorrow, you'll be okay. You just got to get the hell out of fear. You got to get out of fear, because it makes you a lobotomized zombie. And you react bad, and you're horrible to people, and you're horrible to everybody when you're in fear. So I'm just going to show you. Oh, there it is. There's my mom. That was after I realized that she's a huge part of my 5-star. But there's a secret treasure, and it's number 13, and I haven't got it yet. I really haven't got it yet. But this type of thing happens to me, I'll get clues and feelings, but I really don't want to put it out there until I know something, right? So look at here. As I was looking for my mother's thing, I found these 2 notes, and I thought, that's strange to be in photos. That's very strange. Let's try and get my mouse to work here. And I couldn't figure it out. The International Hop, Quebec, Florida, Slaving Capitals. I got to move my banking system, Desjardins, Georgia Robinson, my Airbnb hostess, July 2018, father in Florida, mother in another place, retired, daughter, Georgia, is in HR, and I put safety in quotes, in Quebec City. I'm going to tell you something, guys. I do not remember writing that or thinking that. I remember I love that girl, Georgia. She was my first Airbnb host here in Quebec City. She was the only normal one. I all went downhill after her. And until I found this apartment. That is strange. So I'm going to have to think on that. I'm kind of shaky about it. It's saying that Quebec and Florida are slavery capitals, and I sort of had that feeling. I remember having that feeling way back, but I lost it. I had the test here. I'm going to tell you that. I had the test, and I did go into psychosis here in Quebec City, and there's all sorts of bad things happened to me here in my first couple of years. It was just, I was a target, and it was one thing after another, and it's because of my consciousness, and I think they all know. So I'm a target, and I always felt safe, and there were orbs around me, but I kind of lost my memories on things. When I first arrived, I had all sorts of things coming to me about the downloading that the beings of light gave me. I mean, every day my consciousness was just amazing. I feel like I'm in heaven. I really do, guys, because it is heaven. When your heart is in the right place, that's heaven. That's joy and comfort, and you make it and you create it, because I'm a woman. But I can't do it when I'm with men who mansplain life to me. No, no. I can't be what you need, guys. And to Trevor too. I couldn't be what he needed. My intuition was absolutely robbed of me, and I was a lobotomized mother. And that's what we all are. And so if you guys hate your mothers or you hate women, well, I'm sorry. Then you hate yourselves, because we're not the ones in charge. You're the ones doing all the politics and all of the economics, all of this artificial intelligence is on you. And we don't need artificial intelligence. You don't need to go to university to learn how to be a mother. And you took it away from being a mother. Like, they told me that formula was better for me. Like, they told me formula was better for my baby. They did surgery on his penis. I was 18 years old and clueless. And so are you. And so is your parents. Oh, I like that, ma'am. I just want to lighten it up a bit, because it's okay to get heavy and to feel rage, okay? And then you got to do something. You got to start looking around and wondering who's leading your narrative. You know, who's leading your narrative? And it's got to stop. It's all in Hollywood too, like the same tribe. It's got to stop, or the gravity of what's coming. There's no words. There's no words. And I don't even know if people understand, that we have been lied to about the planet we're on. We're not on a spinning ball. It totally disorientates women. I don't know north, south, east, west. That never freaking makes sense. It just, nothing's making sense here. And it's because we're so convoluted, like it's so calculated, so convoluted now, and so embedded in the consciousness. So I feel, if you're watching me and you're staying with me, I guess, that you're curious, and maybe you're fed up too. But how are you coping, I wonder? Like, I know myself, I mean, I was built for this journey. I'm a life skills teacher, I'm a counselor, and I'm a clinical hypnotherapist, and I'm a human resources expert. Criminology and psychology. So I got a taste of absolutely everything. I'm a jack of all trades. And I did well. I made a lot of men rich. And then I went homeless. You know, that's the life that, people, you can hear stories back and forth all you want. But it's absolutely shit on women and gaslit to make her believe that she's equal. It's like, come on. Yeah, never mind the emotional responsibilities to raising a child. She can't do it at work. And to give up your children to daycares and school. You are suffering later. So suffer now so that you can show your movie doing something different. Suffer now with the truth. No matter what the fuck it is. I don't care if you're a pedophile or whatever you are. Just come out of the dark. I'm telling you, psychologically, you need to accept yourself and what happened to you. My son couldn't. He turned into one of what had happened to him. And he had 2 children, 2 different mothers, and a wife. So he was very, very sexually deviant and always out there, like my dad. And this is a condition caused by sexual trauma in childhood. Well, especially if it, like with Trevor, not with my dad, but with Trevor, it became sodomite because of my ex. And he was caught at 13. Trevor was. With little, babysitting and little kids there. And I was constantly having heart attacks and drinking. I couldn't figure out what was going on. And there was Gary sitting there quiet as day. And Trevor bring home these nylons, makeup. And nobody knew. Nobody knew. And I would not have recognized him. I am lucky he died first. And it was part of our plan. He died in flames at 25. It's all going to be working out perfect. Yeah, that's what happened to Trevor. And so many young boys and girls, never mind, it's happened to girls a long time. Long time. Even doctors, You know what pap smears are, eh? An excuse. Earlier the better, they say. I'm very emotional. I feel things are coming to a head very quickly. And I do not know the outcome. I really don't know. I hope it's fast, but I have my doubts. But it is going to come out. The truth is coming out. And there's going to be an uprising, right? And then what? Martial law. But it's all a ruse. This was the plan all along, right? So, well, I was going to show you this video on Flat Earth, that it was in the King James Version. But I really don't have...
Where it says Flat Earth.
Okay, that's enough. He's going to go through, it's about 6 minutes long, and it's in, it's not just the Flat Earth. It's, that's in anti-disinformation. I really like this guy. He brings out a lot of moon and star, like he researches, and I like guys that research, right? And he's never blocked me from my comments. So it's a good channel to go and check out if you're interested in all sorts of different things to do with the real Earth. And he has people that have maps that are very, very well mapped out. So nothing's true. This is a fantasy here. You can think of it like that. And it's time to wake up to your conscience. And you got to know what you did under hypnosis. I don't want you to die and turn into Christ, which you will because you were born Christ. And when you die, you're going to feel a love wash over you. You're going to sense a real golden light all around you. You could feel a golden light or you can feel a white light, and you'll feel it wash over you. And what that is your own feelings of Christ again, your love again, and you're happy and joy. And you all of a sudden go into a bubble. It's a protective white layer. It's got to protect you immediately from this atmosphere. And so your spirit immediately goes into a protective white light bubble. Like the guy in the video I told you about, I showed the video yesterday, his near-death experience, how he felt that love, he didn't say it came from anybody, but a lot of people think it does. But he says, I just felt this love, this peace, this harmony. And then I felt this white light all around me. And then I was floating, right? And so he's an orb. That's his spirit, and that's his eyes as his beams are going. His beams are in the orb and protected because his beams are very, very sensitive. They're stars. Okay, so I got a lot more, but I can't talk much longer than this, and I'll just leave it with that. If you have any questions, you can feel free to ask, but I just want people to know that I'm not really taking, I'm not reading anybody else. The only thing I'm trying to get is information. I'm not trying to get spiritual information from other people. I've got a very strange story, and I'm really bogged down with a lot in that, and with my spirits around me. And also I know what the hell's going on, and I'm hurting. I'm not thinking positive right now, although I'm thinking in a way that I make sure I eat right, and I certainly can't sleep very well these days, though. But I don't try and beat myself up and make it even more stressful. Whatever you do, try not to abuse yourself more with words. If you're starting to abuse yourself, the way I was trained to and the way I constantly have to stop is learn how to drop words and just take your eyes to something else immediately. Start training your mind to think better. Be self-aware of your thinking. Be aware of your conscience. Be aware of your feelings, because that's who you are. You'll come back to your real feelings of love again. And if your feelings are in fear, and if your feelings are in fear, honey, and you're watching your movie, it's just not good. It's just not good. That's what I'm trying to say. Don't go in fear. And the only way to avoid that is to have a clear conscience for yourself. It's very personal. Nobody else. That's why I can't beat up even Gary. Honestly, I go and just murder the guy. Honestly, I would. He's got everybody duped. He's got the whole world duped. And I've got no hope for justice here. But I am not worried. Okay? I'm not worried. I told him, though. I said in 2016. He was one of the first things I realized. And so he was one of the first, like, I just picked up the phone and phoned him. And all of a sudden I had no words. And my mouth gapped open, and I just kept shaking my head and screamed no until I hung up. It's beyond hell for a woman to find out. And she'll find out. And it'll be too late. It'll be too late because I don't carry Trevor with me. I carry me with me. At first. So it's very personal to watch your orientation in your movie. I need everybody to know, though, like me, like I was a horrible sinner all my life. Come on now. All the stuff that you call sinning, right? Like drinking and smoking, not going to church, stuff like that. I wasn't a sinner in the sense I never degraded anybody. I think that's where it crosses the line, guys. So I don't think behavior matters one little bit. Not one bit. I know it doesn't. With my dad and my son, they were rotten little bastards. And it doesn't matter. Nope. Nope. The only thing that matters is what was in their hearts. And they were pure love, and I knew it. They were full of love and joy. They were always laughing. Always in prison. Always laughing. You want to see a picture? Twin flames? Let's see if I can find one. I don't think that's big enough. Oh, here's a good one. I did this meme soon after. I did 10 Commandments of Ego. Never went anywhere. So, there they are. Twin flames. You can't tell them apart. And I tried to keep them apart because I thought my dad would be a bad influence. And it didn't matter. They're the same. And you should never do that to your kids or anybody in the family. You're in big trouble. You're really in serious trouble if you're dividing families. I'm telling you that right now. And there's the orbs I was telling you about, hanging around. You see the one to the left and to the right of my shoulders? That was right after my dad had died. And I felt my dad and my son around me. And a friend just felt the urge. My friend Frank, he's still around, felt the urge to take a photo. Captured those orbs. Well, it's all on purpose too, right? Because we're not stupid. And we work in codes all the time. So if you've heard of such a phenomena, let me know. Do you see numbers that you recognize all the time? Do you know how to decipher them? I know that 1111 is a grounded number. It's a number that you've got Christ around you. So you've got somebody that loves you that's around you. That means Christ. That means love again. So a lot of people die with lots of love in their heart. And they feel heaven. And they're in peace and harmony. But they see what's going on here. They see everything. They know everything. Nothing is hidden. You've got to know that. This consciousness is the only single consciousness. It's really sad, but exciting at the same time, guys. Because no matter what happens, we will return to love, no matter what. I just hope that people can feel okay emotionally with their movie. Everything changes. Absolutely everything. Like, I want to write the book Angel Eye. Like, I wrote the book Evil Eyes, a Daughter's Memoir, and I want to write the second part, but I don't have the money to publish it, and I just don't have any faith in publishers because my book was a blockbuster. Um, it would have been a bestseller, but my story is too real. So it just didn't get, like, I don't get any money. I got $500 in total. I paid over 10,000 to get it, or rather Frank did. 10,000 to publish my book. But they sold more than that, way more. I know they did. And they're still selling it at Amazon. So I don't know who's getting the money. Nobody, no rights here. Not for me. Everything I've ever done brilliantly has always been robbed from me. So I've been raped, robbed, and murdered. I don't know how many times. Man, and it's not my conscience I'm worried about. It's not my movie I'm worried about. I said to my family tree, I said, I don't want to see the suffering. And so I'm promised that my memories will be erased. Because without conscience, you know not what you do. And I know that they're just going to want to cast themselves into hell. I know that. They went right into all the popular cultures, all of them, the music, the heavy metal, the bullshit. It got worse the next generation, guys. Generation X, I just have no faith in. And so what has happened to the other one, the millennials, I don't know. I don't know my granddaughter. I don't know my grandson. There's no cord there at all. I'll never see them again. There's no cord. I don't know what happens after that. I don't know. So I'm a little edgy. But I've been promised my memories will be erased.